Uh, what? Of course I knew. In retrospect, it was obvious the way she disappeared with that first sunrise. The way she knew nothing about things everyone alive today knows about. Yeah, there is that as well. But it took her saying it for me to finally put the pieces together and begin to accept it. Finally, she broke the silence. The sun's almost up. I need to be going. Don't go. But I grabbed her hand and pulled her close to me. Stay with me and watch the sunrise. We didn't say anything after that. We just stood there hand in hand watching the sky slowly brighten. I could feel her left hand in my right as we stood there looking out over the ocean. And then the sun rose and suddenly my right hand was empty. I turned to look, but the girl who was suddenly there was gone. I guess she really is a ghost. I said to no one in particular. She had told me and I believed her, but until she disappeared there was still a little bit of doubt. I spent the morning standing off that cliff thinking about it. And finally, I realized that it didn't really matter. A month later, I returned to the beach. This time, Mary was waiting for me. Hey. Welcome back. I suppose you have 3 questions to ask me. Everyone else does. Always does me. Not me. I stopped her in her tracks. Don't have any questions. Doesn't it matter to you what I am? What do you are? What do you mean? You know, a ghost. That's not what you are to me. To me, you're a girl I want to be with, the girl that I love. What? Dude, that's a bit of a sudden confession there. You love a ghost. Beyond that, it doesn't matter if you're a ghost or if I'm a leprechaun. This is weird. All of that is unimportant. What matters is that you're you and I'm me and that we're together. With this, I started walking down the beach. She must have been too stunned to move as she stood in one place for a while. Finally, I turned to her and asked, "Are you coming?" Yes. She cried out her response and started running after me. Together we set off for another moonlight walk down the beach. From that night on, we spent every full moon together. I went away to college, but I would always find time to drive down to the island to spend all night together. My first job was on the mainland right across from the island. I would schedule my days off to ensure they had enough time to go to the beach before Mary appeared. Eventually I saved up enough money to buy a house on the beach near where we first met. I started a software consulting business out of my house. It paid the bills and then some, but the important part was I could always take time off around a full moon. Well, this is very sudden, isn't it? I never missed a night. I would be there in clear weather and in rain. Once it even snowed, and once I had to make my way through a hurricane. What? A hurricane? Wait, was it like... did the hurricane hit the island, or was it like quite a distance away? If it was... what? A hurricane's not something you take lightly, man. Mary once said that it was nice to live a life where you could do what you want. Well, I knew what I wanted, and that was to spend my life with her. Together we celebrated my birthday 70 times and hers twice. We never missed a night together. 70 times? Never, that is, until tonight. I'm dying. Oh, well, that's sudden. It's not as bad as it sounds. I'm 88, and I guess it's just my time. You lived a long life, man. You had a weird hobby for most of your life there, you know, seeing a ghost every month, and now you're going to become one. My heart is given out, and I've told the doctors not to do anything when it goes. Do I have any regrets? Not really. Some people might think I would regret not having gotten married and having children. What? So what did he do with his life? Did he really just dedicate his life to, like, seeing her every month? But for me, Mary was enough even if we never actually got married. Besides, I used the money I made in my business to put my sister's children and grandchildren through school, and there's enough left that they'll have a nice inheritance. I leave the rest to charity. I think that taking care of my family and the world is as good a contribution to prosperity as any. There is one thing I do regret, and that's that I can't see Mary for one last time tonight. It's the night of the full moon, but I'm stuck in this hospital bed, too weak to move on my own. The end is near. My sense of the world outside myself grows dim, and I focus more and more on my body as it starts to give out. I feel my heartbeat growing fainter and fainter. Beat, beat. Finally it stops entirely and I realize that the end is upon me. I was ready to face it alone, but now I realize I don't have to. Mary is standing here with me. Well, she's a ghost and you just died, so you'd be a ghost as well. You do realize this. Even if you, move on, maybe you could, see her for a second or so. I don't know. I don't know why or how, but I do know that she's here. What matters is that we're together. And that this is getting a little confusing. The world becomes white and I feel the years leaving me. Now all I can see is Mary. For some reason she begins walking away from me. After a few seconds she turns back to me and asks, "Are you coming?" That's just because he said that one time. It's just now it's reversed. I run to her and somehow grab her hand. Together we step into the light. Ending 4 together into the light. Wait. So what about ending 3? I can't tell which one was actually the... I know that the best ending actually ends with a CG. I can't remember how to get it though. But it really is a short visual novel. Loading. I had no idea.
You didn't? Usually people figure it out on the first night. That's the only reason people ever come back. They would come and talk to the ghost until they lost interest.
She let out a small laugh and then seemed to realize something. That look is a little creepy.
That means you aren't here because I'm a ghost? You came here because you chose to be with me?
Once again I was speechless, so we stood there for a little while. Finally she broke the silence.
The sun's almost up and I need to be going.
Don't go.
But...
I grabbed her hand and pulled her close to me. Stay with me and watch the sunrise again. You know, same old, until we get to something new. And the sun rose and suddenly my right hand was empty. I turned to look, but the girl who was standing there was gone. I guess she really is a ghost, and all that. Spent the next morning standing on the cliff thinking about it, and then I was like, you know what? Let's set her free. I realized that it wasn't natural for someone like Mary to be trapped for hundreds of years as a ghost condemned to show up only on the night of the full moon. Despite my feelings for her, I came to the conclusion that the best thing I could do was to help her find peace. I spent the next month doing research in the island's small library. Well, technically, didn't the other ending do that as well? I mean, by looks of things, they both, move on. I mean, sure, it took, 70-something years, but still. I spent the next month doing research in the island's small library. I poured through every book they had on the occult, ghosts, magic, witchcraft, things like that. Read 2 or 3 books a day. When I finished a few books the island's library had, I had them order more from the mainland. It got to the point where most of the librarians knew me by name and the rest knew me by my reputation as the college guy obsessed with the occult. The thing with those books was that while most of their content was made up, deep under the surface some contained a small grain of truth. The only way I could figure it out was to read everything I could on the subject and figure out what all had in common. The night of the next full moon, I was ready to put what I had learned into practice. I returned to the spot where we met on the first 2 nights and watched the ocean waves slowly rolling in. Mary was there waiting for me.
You came back.
Well, I wasn't going to leave you alone after all. She doesn't say anything to this. So, what are we going to do tonight?
Usually I spend the night walking around the island, like we did the other nights.
I see. So, may I escort you?
Of course.
She grabbed my arm and we started off on our customary journey around the island. We didn't talk as much this time, we didn't need to, just being in each other's presence was enough. The chill in the air contrasted with the warmth of her skin. Who would have thought that a ghost could be so warm? We had a few short conversations to pass the time. But mostly we walked in silent. The events of last time weighed heavily on us, as if we were both waiting for the other shoe to drop. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore and came right out and asked her the question I needed. Mary, is there something you regret never being able to do? The key insight, the kernel of truth that I discovered in all those books was that the thing that makes a ghost is regret.
What do you mean?
I don't know, is there something you wanted to do but were never able to? She thought about this for a while. Finally, she responded in a barely audible whisper.
I wanted to be a bride.
I knew it! I had come up with a list of things Mary could possibly regret, and this was on the top of the list. But wait, didn't she die at the age of 10? Wait, did she die at the age of 10? Or was she a bit older then? No, come to think about it, if she were to have died at the age of 10, how come she's older now? But, like, not super old. Did she, like, age as a ghost? And then stop? Or, I'm so confused. She had said her dream was to get married. Heck, her dress even looked like a wedding dress. Really? I knew that if I loved her, there was only one thing I could do, so I got down on one knee and said, Mary Harper, will you marry me? She was stunned by this and stood there for a few seconds saying nothing. Finally she spoke.
Are you sure? Are you sure you want to marry me?
Most sure that I've ever been.
Then, yes.
I got up when we embraced, but she was still a little confused. Aren't we all?
But then, how can we do it? I can only go out at night. I don't think that any minister would marry off a ghost.
Yes, can you imagine how that would look? You're just like, will you take this, and then you just like awkwardly kind of like feel it around, just like, ghost woman to be your only wedded wife? This is the weirdest marriage I've ever had to do. Don't worry, we can have a common law marriage.
Common law?
As long as we say we're married and make vows to each other, it counts.
Please, so when can we get married?
If you're ready, we can do it right now.
I am.
Then let's do this. I pulled out my back pocket a sheet containing wedding vows that I had prepared. I changed my voice to sound as if I was some sort of minister and began reading. Do you take this woman to be your wedded wife, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness or in health, as long as you both exist? In my normal voice I responded, I do. I turned to Mary and repeat the vow for her. Do you take this man to be your wedded husband, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness or in health, as long as you both exist?
I do.
We stood there for a second before I finally continued. Well, that's it. We're married. All that's left is the kiss. Well, that was a really abrupt, short wedding there. She came close to me and we embraced. Well, married or whatever, I closed my eyes, waiting for her lips.
Thank you.
I heard her whisper and I felt the warmth of her lips as they touched mine. Then I felt nothing but the cool night air. When I opened my eyes, I was alone. Ew! My granddaughter's interruption stops my telling of the story abruptly.
You kissed someone who wasn't Grandma. You married someone who wasn't Grandma.
Well, that was before I met your grandmother. In fact, that's how I first met your grandmother. She was working as an intern at the library. Oh wait, no, now he's an old man, isn't he? And after that, I never saw Mary again. She seems unconvinced.
Was that really a true story?
You have my word. She thinks about this for a few seconds before replying.
I don't believe you. Tell me another story.
Not tonight. It's after your bedtime.
But...
No, but now it's time to get to sleep. I turned off the lights so that she could finally go to bed. If I didn't, then my granddaughter would stay up all night and never go to sleep. You know, for some reason I'm getting a bit of like, Edward Scissorhand vibe from that. You know, like, how like she's like retelling to that. Was it like a granddaughter or something as well? It was something like that. And she's just like, allow me to tell you about this man I met when I was younger, who had scissors for hands. And to this day, I do believe he's still out there, making beautiful kind of sculptures of ice. Only difference is, in this case, it's a ghost and she's moved on. If I didn't, then my granddaughter would stay up all night and never go to sleep. My granddaughter Mary, whose name I suggested to my son-in-law while we were waiting in the hospital. My granddaughter named for the girl I was married to for a few moments on a moonlit beach long ago. Ending 3, married for moments. So is that all 4 endings then? Is there only 4 endings? Which ending did you prefer there, viewers? Honestly, I prefer the 3rd one, I think. Well, yeah. I think that's the last of them anyway. So, like I said, a short novel, quite confusing as hell, but some of it's kind of neat. I like when he, finds out about, when he's researching it, it's just, talks about all that, and it's just like, that was kind of interesting to me, to be honest. But it's very short. And the next one we're going to be playing is yet another short visual novel that was made with Ren'Py. Only it's going to be way different than this. Well, anyways, hope you enjoyed this little LP of Moonlight Walks. Visual novel made with the Ren'Py engine by Bishojo America, or whatever the hell it was. There was extra stuff though, wasn't there? There's the art gallery. Yes, it seems we got everything unlocked here. There's that. There's that. That. Importing images of the moon. What? When did you take a picture up close? What did I overlook that? And then where he met his future wife, for ending 3 anyway, although we never see her. And his granddaughter is like, ew, that you kissed and married a ghost. Well, she didn't even really comment on that, really. It wasn't that it was a ghost that's just like, ew. He's just like, ew, you kissed someone who wasn't grandma. He's just like, not that it's a ghost. He's just like, what the hell? No comment. If I recall, I remember there was some extra kind of thing this is kind of an upgraded version of how it originally was. The original art style looked a bit different. I think it's somewhere here. Yeah, the original art. What about contributed art? In September 2008, when it was clear that this remake would soon be done, we put out a call for art out on the Lemmersoft forums. Within a few hours, Deji gave us the following. Quite nice. Our next contribution is from Doomfest. Very nice. That's pretty good stuff. Our final contribution is from Mujin Jungle, and while an image from the official artist might technically be off topic, it made us laugh enough to include it here. Ah, the classic chibi. Just like, what the hell is that? Or is she, wait, what? Confused me that. I'd like to thank everyone who posted their art. That's nice. If I made a visual novel, I've said about the novel I want to make Shadows of the Past, but I just can't be asked to get around to writing more for it. I've designed characters. I've gone quite a bit into the plot of it and all. I've got various ideas for it. Just I know what the antagonist is gonna be like. I just don't know how a lot of things will play out in it. I know how some things will and all that. It's got quite a bit of cast in it. If I were to make it into a novel, it would be nothing like these short ones. It would probably be quite a lengthy one. It'd be kind of I don't know. It'd have ending wise would mostly be dead end kind of game over endings, and it'd only be 3 different endings. There'd be a bad ending. There'd be kind of the good ending, and then there'd be the best ending. It'd kind of be like that for like actual endings, while all the other ones just be game over. But yeah, I want fan art like that though, man. It'd be nice to see like some of my characters I've designed drawn by someone who's, better at drawing than me. I mean, I'm alright at drawing, but some of that artwork like that we saw there, that's much better than what I could do. Wait, story spoilers, what's this? In this section, I'll talk a little bit about the backstory behind Moonlight Walks and where the inspiration for various things came from. If it mentions Edward Scissorhands, I'm gonna be like, whoa, I unintentionally guessed it? Probably the most direct influence on Moonlight Walks was the Marvel 1602 comic book, which featured the character of Virginia Dare, the first child born in America to English parents. In reality, she disappeared with the runner colony a few years after she was born, but that's only led to a host of mythologies springing up about her. I had been thinking this over for a few days when suddenly Moonlight Walks came to me, with ending 4 fully formed while in the shower. So, the guy who wrote this has his ideas work the same way I do. Just randomly in the shower, and then he's just like, "It's a brilliant idea, I'm going with that!" Although the setup for Moonlight Walks was different than the Virginia Dare piece, a number of elements remain. For example, the story takes place on an island in the Atlantic. North Sand Island is intended to be an island in the outer banks of the coast of North Carolina. Around where Roanoke is. The name Mary Harper was taken from 1719 census records of that region. Arrived at the name by combining a man's last name and a woman's first name, so as not to name someone who really lived. Mary died in a plague that hit the island in 1790. It's kind of like a neat backstory. It's just like, it's kind of like a believable kind of thing. It's just like kind of a tragic kind of thing to it. She was 10 at the time. Her dream of getting married is what kept her around after her death. Is it gonna explain how she isn't 10 as a ghost? Her dress, or at least the version which you can see in the original art, was patterned after an actual wedding dress, but one from Ohio and about 30 years later. The game takes place in the summer of 2005. That means that Mary has been wandering the island for between 2,804 and 2,826 nights, or over 7 years her time. She ages 1 day per full moon, so that makes her 17. Ah, I see. So that's how it works. I don't know what she does during the hours when it's not night, but she does seem to age them. I guess she sleeps. Our main character is probably 18, as he's in between high school and college. That's probably the age when a person has the least responsibility and is the most free to follow his dreams. Well, yeah, because if it was someone in the 20s, he'd just be like, what the hell? But 18, he'd be like, you interest me, so I am going to keep coming back here every month, and in fact, I'm going to move to this island so I can see you every month. In the third ending, Mary gets married, fulfilling the conditions that's keeping her on Earth. Once this is done, she can rest in peace. Of course, the whole thing about common law marriage is bullshit, at least by modern laws, but Mary believes it, and that's what counts. Yeah, I was wondering about that, just that sounds like bullshit. Although I didn't really mention this directly, in ending 3, the main character winds up marrying one of the librarians that helps him with his research. In ending 4, Mary decides that she wants to be with the point of view character more than she wants to stay on Earth, and so she leaves with him. Ending 4 is what motivated me to make the game, while ending 3 was a relatively late addition upon seeing that the player could make a choice. Thank you for taking the time to read these notes, and once again, thank you for playing Moonlight Walks by Tom Kingsburg, January 2009. Let's have a look at the original art. It's a bit different to the, remake version of the art. I single-handedly made the original version of Moonlight Walk in less than a month. Wow. Only in a month? What about the art as well? Well, he said single-handedly made the original version. So is that why there's only one kind of music track then? Because if you were to make various music tracks, it'd take even longer. And what about the background art? Or is this remake version art as well? Or I don't know. Well, I'm proud of that achievement. It also meant that the original version of Moonlight Walks was limited in what I could accomplish skill-wise in a limited amount of time. While this new version of Moonlight Walks has been massively improved by the addition of Eugene Josel's art, I will admit some sentimental attachment to those old images. And, okay, this is how it originally looked then. And so, as an extra, I've included the ability to make Moonlight Walks using the original art. Would you like to play using the original art? Wait, what if we went to the third ending and see how the art style would be there? Will it do that? Let's actually try that out. It was summer and all that, and it was the original art. And then I skipped dialogue because we've already seen it. We're just looking to see how the art looked. As you can see, it's quite different. But I wonder if it's I gotta talk to you. I gotta talk to you up close. The art is, of course, not as great, but, you know, for something like that in a month, yeah, it's yeah. Honestly, I wonder how, with me, I kind of, I do drawings and all that, but when it would come down to this, would I need to use a computer to do it or what? The moon, it's beautiful. I want to see what everything else looks like. Let's see if, expressions. Sad expression. Crying face. I wonder what that one face she makes when she's, really happy will look like with the original art. Wait, was that it just there? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes. When can I see you again? Very smiley face. You know, what'd be a pisser if, when I, get Camtasia back up to click stop on the recording, it's just none of this recorded, by the way. It'd be no! I had no idea. Okay, so I guess that must be the face that has it, with the hands up and just ha! I had to set her free. Whoa, that's very different. North Sand Island Free Library. Man, I've only ever seen this part of the art and all that. Never seen the other parts of it. So I wonder what his granddaughter will look like with the original art. And the hospital room as well. That as well. Wait, no, actually we'd need to go through ending 4 to get that, wouldn't we? Okay, we're gonna be playing through it twice. Just what the hell? That is just ew! That wasn't Grandma! Okay, that's, extras. Original. Yes. I said yes. Now we go through it again, only this time we choose the other option. The moon. It is beautiful, like your eyes, and you know, all that. Pat on the head. How long have I been recording this for? When can I see you again? He tripped over a rock. He's perfectly fine. Had no idea. It didn't really matter to me, no. This is the hospital room. Bed, yes. And that was that. Anything here? No, it's just that, of course, you idiot. Well, that was neat. Well, hope you enjoyed that. On with a little after LP talk, I guess, and see you in the next visual novel, which will be, as I said, another Ren'Py one. Then after that, we'll probably get to the main one. You know, main visual novel LP. By the looks of things, I think Shuffle is in the lead currently on that. So it's probably going to be Shuffle, or maybe Kanawa Shoujo's, one of the two. Because, like, there's quite a few, like, votes so far for, like, the votes that have, like, two ones, like, two different votes. Like, one person voting for two different things. Like, I'm just going to count that as well, you know? So with that, it's just like Kanawa Shoujo, I can't remember the number it was at, but it was just barely right behind Shuffle on the amount of times I saw it mentioned. So anyways, on with the After LP talk. Hope you enjoy it.
Hello and welcome to the After the LP talk. First, before we get on to the review, here is a little kind of drawing that Blue Skull Dragon 87 did of Mary Harper there, because, you know, it mentioned of fan art and all that. Why not? Here it is. It was somewhat rushed because he wasn't really feeling very motivated and very tired lately, so yeah, it was kind of surprising he was able to get that completed in time, but whatever. So basically, the main character, first he got married to a ghost. Yes, it's kind of weird. And then, then he got married, like, for real, to his future wife or whatever. It doesn't even show it or anything. And then the other ending just has him kind of die in the hospital bed and all that at the age of 80-something. And pretty much doing jack shit with his life outside of just, like, seeing this ghost every month. It's kind of weird when you really think about it. What do you think of it, Conte?
A guy marrying a ghost. I mean, I don't know what to say about that. Yeah, I really don't have a clue. Bye.
Well, that was kind of... I thought you were going to, like... never mind, she's gone. So, Blackwell, what do you think about this whole thing? Do you agree with marriage between ghosts and living human beings?
What the fuck are you talking about, Echo?
Well, I mean, does it seem kind of weird that this guy married a ghost?
Well, fucking course it does. What the fuck? Okay, so you got this woman. Well, girl, whatever. It's like 17 years old, I think, was it? And died, like, freaking, just hundreds of years ago, so deadly. Just like, I don't even know what to say, man. It's just fucking confusing.
Yeah, no, it was a kind of neat story. You could say it was a cool story, right, Dave?
No, Echo, you can't do that, man. I was just about to pass through the door and say that, but then, as I just came through the door, you just said it. You completely ruined it for me. I'm out of here.
Echo, you know, I need to punch you in the face right now.
And why is that?
Well, I was gonna punch Dave, but you're the one who said it this time, so...
Ew! Oh, you son of a bitch. Oh, goddamn it, I'm out of here.
Well, I guess I'll end this one for a change. This visual novel is interesting, but weird as fuck. That's all, folks. Now, piss off. See ya.